go.
Yep.
All right, today we're here with Corey, checking out C2renew. Just kind of basically trying to figure out what his story is, you know, what has been his grind, what has been his hustle, and what has literally been the impact he's trying to make with his company. Corey, nice to have you here today.
Nice to have you.
Nice to have you here. I'm going to start off by asking you, what is your company?
So we are a biocomposite manufacturer. So
Okay.
what we do is we take different waste products, anything from agricultural waste, stuff that we call rapidly renewable, that's grown year over year. So it could be flax chive, oat hull, sugar beet pulp. We take that and we hybridize it with different resins. So they can be petroleum-based resins, recycled resins, bio-based resins. And through that hybridization process, we get our biocomposite.
Okay.
We sell that biocomposite to injection molders that make all kinds of different parts that you probably saw in the B-roll that will probably go right about here.
Yep. Definitely will. Definitely will. I saw I like the sunglasses myself. I thought that was kind of cool. On the way over, and I was telling him, I was like, he made like 3D glasses. He's like, what? He said, out of what? And I said, I think out of like reusable stuff. He's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So it's kind of interesting to actually see the glasses versus see them on the website. So.
We like to make, unuseful things useful again.
Yep.
We like to find sort of the value in what folks would typically throw away. What's one man's trash is another man's treasure, and trash right now is our treasure.
It's one of those things. If we keep throwing things away, we're gonna literally be consumed by trash. So it's kind of what you guys are doing is kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
Kind of help us eliminate some of that, so to say.
For sure, yeah. Even with what we do on the garbage side, using the upcycled municipal solid waste. I mean, literally that is stuff that would be destined for a landfill. It is garbage that comes in from all different homes and things like that, and we take it and it comes to the landfill and it gets filtered, parsed off, and it runs through a thermal conversion process, and we then take that and turn it into material that can be used to make all kinds of different products. So we make 3D printer filament with it right now, but we're looking at other applications for it, anything from industrial products that would go under the hood of cars, tractors, combines, to things that would sit on a retail shelf of a big box store. So basically taking something that would sit and off gas CO2 in the atmosphere. We're taking that and capturing it and turning it into something that's usable.
Wow, I like that. So let me ask you this. You kind of answered a little bit, but what are you offering right now, and who are you offering it to?
Yeah, so we offer quite a bit different things. We've got sort of 3 different business units that we've got. We make the material that we sell to injection molders and sheet extruders that turn into then products for other OEMs and other end customers. We do engineering services work for companies, so we help them to either design a new part, new material for their current application. We help them to deal with failures or find issues that they might have with their current process. So that's our other business unit. And then we also make our own branded products. So we have our coffee cup that we make from coffee. We have 6 lines of 3D printer filament.
You said coffee cup from coffee?
Coffee cup from coffee. So this coffee cup right here is literally made from coffee.
You gotta be kidding me.
So we take coffee waste and we convert it into an injection molded grade material, and we own the tooling on that. So we make coffee cups.
Wow. So this so you can actually drink out of this. It doesn't taste back.
No.
Really.
This is a coffee cup that you can take around. I don't know how many of them. We can customize it. So here's a custom logo with the Minnesota on it. We have the North Dakota one sitting over there. A couple up. We got an NDSU one sitting up on the shelf there. So we work with another vendor of ours that'll do the custom engraving and custom development and design for that.
I mean, you think this will be going over big with the new age kids, that drink all that coffee thing like that, but they also want to be saving the world. I mean, you think you put these in a couple different coffee shops and they're buying this over the regular coffee cup because that ends up in the landfill and actually becomes some of the stuff you guys make, right?
Yeah, so that's kind of the cool thing about what we do is we're sort of a full closed loop system. So we can, even if the stuff that folks, they want to be green, but sometimes we're all guilty. We throw stuff in the garbage. I got 2 kids at home. They throw everything in the garbage.
There's no separation. This is garbage. That's recyclable. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
So even if it happens, we're only in one city right now, in one municipality right now. But that's not to say that we wouldn't have audacious goals to expand and try convert and turn as much of that garbage into something new and usable.
Definitely. Now, let me ask you this question. I mean, how did you prove or validate that this could be an actual business?
The cool part was my co-founder is an associate professor at NDSU. So this had been his research for years and years.
Okay.
He got his doctorate in material science
Okay.
at UAB, so University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to start a family, so moved up here with his then fiance at the time. Now then he got married. He's got 3 kids now, and he wanted to see his research commercialized.
Okay.
I happened to be working on a project of something else, and I came and toured his lab and said, man, this is really cool. We should like, have you ever thought about commercializing? I said,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Wouldn't know what to do.
Yep.
And so we started it from there.
Brainstorming,
Yeah,
trying to
and
figure it out.
so he had validated out the technology was there.
Okay.
And so then we went through and we kind of dug in to see, is there folks that would really want this? Can we convert the research that he had done with his research partners into commercial opportunity? Was
Okay.
it easy? No. I mean, it took some time to transition it from that. And then we continually started to learn new processes to vet out new technology. So we're a big proponent of doing customer interviews.
Okay.
Like we'll go out and we'll ask hard questions to see, are we solving a problem?
Yep.
And if we're not, then we know it's not. If people aren't willing to write a check
Yep.
or dig money out of their pocket, then we're not solving the right
You
problem.
know, everybody has an idea. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it comes down to who's going to actually implement the idea, get the funding for the idea, and
Yeah.
create the actual business. So
Yep.
it's kind of good to see you guys here and see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question: why is now the time for this business to exist?
You said it. I mean, we're seeing a lot more where folks are trending. They're becoming more conscious about what they consume and what they throw in what they reuse and what they throw away. Also, then be mindful of with kids. I have 2 kids of my own. Chad has 3. We only got one planet.
You might want to leave it to somebody.
We
right?
can choose what we're going to do, and so I think now is the time. This is not a technology that's new and novel that hasn't existed before.
Yep.
It's existed, but I think it existed maybe too early.
Yep.
There was people researching this. We do it. We have a little bit of a different twist and a different spin on how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now is the time where I think a lot of the larger Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 500 companies are realizing, like, look, we need to be socially mindful of what we do and the footprint we
You
leave.
got to cut back the footprint. Right?
Exactly, and so that's why I think now is the time.
Okay. Okay. First paying customers. Tell us about that. I mean, how did that feel? When did that happen? Getting that first paying customer to give you some money for your idea.
It's always good when you get a first paying customer. We're a bit of a different animal than, like, say, a retail customer, or maybe the first paying customer is a family member.
Yep.
Unfortunately, none of our family members are injection molders. So it was really cool to get that first order. And truthfully, our first order was more engineering related work.
Okay.
So we built off of the fact that, look, we've got knowledgeable folks that understand how this stuff works,
Yep.
and we were able to bring in that and then spur that into more material manufacturing. But it's always awesome to get, it's always cool to get a first customer. It's always
Yep.
cool to get the next biggest check.
Yep.
It's always cool to get the next biggest project. I mean, that's maybe the thrill of it, but it's not always, I'm sure you got questions further down the line, it's not always the sexy parts that you remember either.
Yep.
Though.
Exactly. If you weren't building this, what would you be doing?
I'd still be doing something related to this. I had early in my career, I wasn't an entrepreneur right out of the gate. Then when I went to work at a company, and then as I look back, and you kind of sort of look back and say, what did I do when I was an employee? I was a really shitty employee. Like, truth be told, like, it wasn't that I didn't do the work.
Yep.
It was just,
You figured you could do what the boss does?
and
better, maybe?
Yeah, and
Yep.
the hard part was, like, I wanted to always push myself
Mm-hmm.
to try and excel. And I think, and obviously when you're an employee, there's a pecking order.
Mm-hmm.
And no fault of the folks that hired me or anything like that. I mean, the great people still talk to them today. But one thing that resonated with me when I was doing my internship, I really wanted to grow and excel and move and learn everything I could. Just
Yep.
be an absolute learner of everything.
Sponge, soak it all up.
And one of the guys I was taking on a project and I made a mistake, a big mistake, and he got really upset and he said, "Look, you just don't know what you don't know."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and I looked at him and said, "That's why I want to do it, because I want to know."
Yep.
And so that's where, like, I wouldn't be doing anything else but because
Yep.
it's
Something along these
it's
lines.
not that I think I have the right answers or all the answers. I don't.
Yep.
I just want to learn and figure it out and try something new.
Well, entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is, entrepreneur. So you said you got some traction.
Yep.
What's been the exciting and nerve-wracking part about getting that traction to date?
Growth is always exciting and nerve-wracking all at the same time. The faster you grow, it's great. You're bringing on new business. You're
Yep.
getting bigger, but at the same time, the expenses get just as big,
Yep, yep.
and they get just as large. And one thing you just always want to be mindful of is you don't want to get your head over your skis and get yourself in trouble from that perspective.
Tumbling over.
So it's both exhilarating and nerve-wracking at the same time, and you know you have to find a balance between the two.
Yep, definitely. I definitely have to agree with that. Being an entrepreneur myself, it seems like when you have a great idea and you're trying to turn it into something, every little step is exciting but nerve-wracking at the same time.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's go hand in hand.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Everybody.
That's the thing. I mean, you want. That's why it's hard.
Yep.
And that's why you've got to be able to balance the two.
Yep,
You know,
I
and there's
agree with
some months that are up and everything's great, and there's some months that are just brutal.
It's just tough on you, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. What do you love about your team, your partners, and why are you the ones to solve this problem that you're looking at?
Yeah. So what's awesome about our team is everybody brings a different aspect.
Okay.
Whether it be from their educational background or it be from just their life experiences, where they grew up.
Okay.
We've got folks that grew up in small towns, some that grew up on a farm, some that grew up in Minneapolis,
Okay.
some that have just an undergraduate, some that have masters, some that have PhDs.
Okay.
So pretty broad scope. I always joke that I'm the least educated in the room because I'm not an engineer. I'm a business guy.
Yep.
I only have a business degree. These guys have masters and PhDs. Well, I'm, so I lean to them.
Yep.
I always look. I don't want to be the smartest one in the room.
Yep.
Like there's people that have way smarter than I am.
Yep.
I'm just lucky enough to only know them
Yep.
and
Be
maybe
a
be
part of
friends
it.
with them.
Yep.
And figure that stuff
Yep,
out.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Why our team? I mean, they're not afraid to try.
Good.
They're not afraid to get out and put new opportunities out there, try the new opportunities, and if they fail, they fail.
Yep.
And what my job is with Chad is like we're going to give them the ability to fail. Like we're not going to be mad if something doesn't go right.
Yep.
And that's why I think our team is successful, because we have the ability and we're okay to fail.
It sounds like the perfect team. I mean,
Yeah.
range from here to there, it kind of let you guys try a little bit of everything to see what's going to work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. How do you guys measure your success? What are your metrics to that?
I could say the real technical answer. We have KPIs that we measure our key performance indicators.
Yeah.
So we have easy measurable things.
Or just lights stay on, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, truthfully, in a startup, you run as fast as you can
Yep.
and ensure that you've got enough. I joke that I'm the train conductor. So my job is to make sure the trains stay on the tracks and they go off on time.
Yep.
You don't want the train to go off the rails, and look what happens. So
Yep.
so that's where how do you measure it? Are you succeeding in what you set out to do? When a mission is a good mission to have and setting forth, and are you executing on the mission? Are you sticking true to what you wanted to do?
Yep.
Again, are we gonna always nail it 100% of the time? No. I mean, and we have to be sort of self-aware too, to know that we're not perfect in everything we do, and we're okay to
Okay to
make
fail
it.
every now and
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
Okay to fail every now and then. My mom always told me, boy, if you ain't trying, you ain't failing. So at least go out there and try, and if you fail, you
Exactly.
fail, but at least try. So,
My mindset is, and I tell my kids this time and again, like you'll learn more from a failure.
You
Like
do.
if you're always successful, you just assume that's always gonna how it's gonna be.
Yep.
If you don't fail and you don't sort of go back and say, why did I fail?
Yep.
You don't really learn. You just assume like this is how it's always gonna be.
Yep. Yep.
And a good failure is a nice slap in the face
It is.
sometimes.
It's a wake-up call.
Yeah, to really set you
It's a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. Did you guys find funding in North Dakota? Or did you find funding in North Dakota? And then how was finding that funding in North Dakota?
So we did find funding in North Dakota.
Okay.
We were, super mindful of finding what we always called smart money. So finding the people that were either, so our industry, from the perspective of what we do, is not what happened in an industry that's in North Dakota. We don't have plastics manufacturing in North Dakota. That's relegated to Ohio.
Yep.
So we had to find folks that were what we called we're in the commodity business. Plastics is a commodity business.
Okay.
So you think of those that are farmers, they're in the commodity business. They
Yep.
trade wheat,
Yep.
corn, soybeans. That's a commodity business. We work with on the ag side. So that's where we started to look. Are there guys that sort of fit that MO? And I should say even gals as well, because we have a good smattering of really sharp, smart ladies
Okay.
that work with us and actually add a lot of great perspective that maybe some of the other gentlemen that we have,
Wouldn't have.
might not have.
Okay. Okay. Now this goes to the next question. How has hiring, finding the right people to fit your company? How has that been? We all know that's kind of difficult nowadays.
Easier for us, I think, because my co-founder is a professor at the university and teaches in the engineering program. Most of our folks that work for us are engineers.
Oh,
we have
nice.
one business guy, and luckily he was an intern of ours that we got.
Okay.
So really for us, it's been a matter of finding the right fit, bringing him through our intern program.
Yep.
So we started with one employee and one contractor.
Okay.
Contractor was a PhD student of my co-founder. The one employee was a master's student of my co-founder.
Okay.
And so basically what it was we worked with those guys and then ran a lot of our folks through an intern program. Ultimately hired, so the gal that would be sitting there that's doing production right now, she was one of our first interns.
Okay.
She was actually our first intern. And then Chase is an intern, Zach's an intern. We had one intern that left to go to John Deere. That was his dream job.
Okay.
And we were excited to have given him the skills to be able to get his dream job at his dream company.
Yep.
So that makes us feel good. So that's for hiring. We look to the university. We really appreciate what the university puts out for students. And so we want to work closely and collaboratively with the university, continue to cultivate those students and basically live the mission that the university had, to educate them and get them ready for the job market.
Yep.
And how awesome is it that they can walk just across the street
Can't
to come over here to work.
And to make a difference in what they're doing.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? What do you think your growth will be in the next year?
Man, I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I could tell you.
I mean, you have an idea, right? Your
Yeah.
performance says this, but what?
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
what is? Where do you think you'll be in the next year?
Right now what we're looking at is we expanded our manufacturing footprint. We added another 4,500 square feet
Nice.
to our manufacturing footprint. We broke ground on a new facility down south in Georgia.
Nice.
So we're co-locating a facility down there. We're looking to expand with some other partners to expand our capabilities jointly with those guys. As far as a dollar amount, I couldn't tell you.
Yep.
Because it could go any direction. But
Yep.
but from a perspective of growth and adding capacity, we're certainly doing that. And we're scaling it up. We had 4 interns that are starting this week.
Nice.
So
Nice.
so we're adding a head count and kind of moving the needle on that one.
Okay. So as long as basically, let's just say the growth is moving the needle.
The growth is moving the needle.
Yep.
Again, it's a matter of, like I said, keeping the train on the tracks. That's the big thing.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
So now, as you guys have grown, what have been some of the struggles that you guys had to deal with?
Just trying to work through limitations as we grow, limitations that relates to just capacity of equipment that we have. We're of a bit of a different animal because we're a manufacturer. So, we commiserate with some of our other colleagues that are software developers. I mean, you come from correlation, so you get it.
Yep.
Software is a bit of a different animal where your cache is constrained by how many people you can get
Yep.
and how many computers you can get in server space.
Yep.
And Amazon Web Services helps and all that stuff helps with server space.
Yep.
But, we're constrained by the same issues, headcount,
Yep.
and then, but we also got this constraint of we need a big enough to manufacture manufacturing equipment. So our capital constraints are always something.
So you gotta be huge.
And so you got to really, you got to think far enough in advance of the question about growth. So we're always trying to hedge our bets to say, okay, what's the expectation of growth? You don't want to jump too early, because you jump too early and you miss.
Yep.
Then you've sunk a bunch of cash. Where it's always a really delicate dance to figure out, okay, how much do you invest?
Yep.
And that's been our real challenge, I think, with this is how do we find and make the right choices,
Okay.
not too early, not too late.
Yep. At the right time, right?
At the right time, yeah.
At the right time.
Yeah.
What's your biggest threat? That's a question to ask. What do you feel? What do you feel is your biggest threat when it comes to the company and what you're doing?
The biggest threat is always, it'd be lying if I said it's always making sure that there's always enough work and enough cash. That's always, I don't think that if there's anybody you talk to in this series that doesn't say that, they're bullshit. Because, that's the truth of the matter. The other thing is just making sure that we're always mindful of what's on the horizon. I was telling somebody the other day, my job as a CEO is to predict or try to see what's on the other side of a hill.
Okay.
So I always use a lot of analogies or metaphors. And one of the things that I always look at is, I'm trying to predict what's on the other side of the hill. And I was talking to this guy about cultivating good number twos.
Yep.
It's the number two's job to ensure that they've got the right plan, that if you're wrong on what's on the other side of the hill, you've backed that up.
Yep, yep.
And you have the right fail-safes in place to do that. So that's where, that's my thing. I try to, spend my time, maybe in the morning, sort of reading and looking at news articles and journal articles, see what's out there from new technology, what's on the horizon. And then I always try to do my best to sort of pass it out to team members so they can kind of look at it and sort of delve into it and see and that's the other thing, back to the other point about, what makes this team so great is they're willing to sort of do the same legwork and kind of dig in and see what's new in the horizon, especially, in the 3D printer market for us, on the material side. We're always sort of digging in to see what's new and what's exciting, where that industry is going to go and what can be done. And so that's kind of the threat that I look at is, are we staying relevant enough on the new technologies, staying ahead of the curve? Are we seeing what's coming on the market? Are we being sort of forward thinking to, be a bit ahead of where maybe the new competition might be? Or are we doing a good job of also keeping core, our core business sort of at the front, at the forefront as well?
Yeah, okay. Now, this is literally what this series is about right now. Everyone has been talking about grinding. Well, first it started off as grinding.
Yeah.
Then it started off as now you're hustling.
Yeah.
We kind of got to the point where we needed to have something that had more of an impact.
Yeah.
So we came up with this series as, the impact. So the question to you is what impact are you trying to make with your company? Because sometimes it's not all about the dollars, like you said before. When this is all said and done, what is that impact you'd like to leave with your company?
Yeah. Well, one thing Chad and I talk a lot about is a bit of legacy for our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it from the perspective that it'd be awesome if we can build something great for our kids.
Yep.
To either come into, look, my dad did that.
Yep. Built this from the ground up.
And built this, and he gave me the tools and the ability to do this. I always tell my kids, if they ever get to the position and say we're successful in what we do and there's an exit or something and there's a financial reward, I always tell my kids, look, if you want to do what I did, I want to be first money in.
Yep.
For my parents didn't come from money. I didn't come from money.
Yep.
So my parents couldn't write me a check to say, look, I want to be first money. I want to do that for my kids. Like, I want to say, look, if this is what you're passionate about, when you want to take the chance, like, look, you're going to take the chance. And I ain't going to be your safety net, but I'll be money in to take the chance with you, because I did it. The other legacy, too, is when Chad and I set out, our mission out of the gate was we want to build the North Dakota bioeconomy.
Nice.
We live in a state that has some of the best resources we could ever mention. I grew up in North Dakota. Chad grew up in North Dakota. We have some of the best resources, some of the best people.
Okay.
We want to build an industry that takes advantage of those resources. We've got, agriculture is one of our top resources. It's one of our largest growing sectors.
Yep.
And so we wanted to capitalize on it. And we wanted to build businesses, whether it be our own or partner companies, off of that resource.
Nice.
And so that's been our focus, and anytime we sort of look and see what are we doing this for, and that's what we're doing it for, is to build that North Dakota bioeconomy and hopefully bring more businesses to this area. Great technology is not relegated to the East and West Coast. We have some really awesome stuff that happens here, and we want to shout it from the rooftops just the same, and how we can do that is building awesome stuff.
Yep. I agree with that. So it sounds like your impact is going to be amazing.
I hope.
It sounds like it's going to be amazing. I'll definitely be watching. Thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk with me today. I'm hoping people out there can definitely understand your story.
Yeah.
Everything you said, it hit home with me.
Cool.
Being an entrepreneur, trying to figure out what is that, what am I trying to build. It definitely hits home. So I'm hoping it hits home with more people out there.
Yeah, for real. Like, the other thing too is if people see this, want to hit me up.
Yep.
Like, go to our website. My email address is on there. My phone number is on there. Call me, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. Like, I'm down for grabbing a cup of coffee and just shooting the shit with folks.
Nice. People like this, we need more of. People like that. Thank you again, man. You have a good one.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice. So this is actually going to be an actual real guitar, sound like the whole nine.
This will be a legit guitar you can play. So this was just the prototype we did.
Nice.
So yeah, the intent is, back to what we were talking about. So create an industry. So the coffee waste we use, North Dakota, Minnesota companies, we get the coffee waste from.
Yep.
Hemp, we're trying to get North Dakota companies to work on this. We source this from Canada and Kentucky. North Dakota company we work with that makes this. This used to be there's a brother and sister that grew up in North Dakota that make these. They're in Detroit now.
Nice.
We get our beer waste from a company that processes on the north of or on the other side of the river. You know, coffee, same deal. Source. All of our 3D printer filament we make with another company in Fargo.
Yeah.
So we're trying to keep, and you know, that live the mission of building the North Dakota economy. So having more folks do more work here.
Yeah.
In North Dakota, in Fargo, whether it's Wapaton, and Grand Forks, whether it's Bismarck, Minot.
Just more helping
Yeah,
North Dakota.
We want North Dakota, even though we're a small state.
Yeah.
We think we can do a lot of big things.
I'd agree with that. I definitely.